Over the past few years of full-time travel, I've used a handful of cheap flight websites to save over $10,000 on flights for me and Diane. These include my favorite cheap flight booking websites, but also other tools and newsletters that can help you find cheap flights as well. If you haven't yet tried all of these, what are you waiting for? The first one you may have heard of, but since it currently only works in the US, I also found some new recommendation for all my peeps outside the US. And that is Going, which is the new name for Scotch cheap flights. Going is a super cool email newsletter that sends out crazy discounted flights that leave from your home airports that you set. Sometimes up to 90% off. Signing up for their free plan should be a no-brainer, so I'll put down the link to sign up in the description, plus a discount code in case you decide to upgrade. The free plan gets you a limited selection of the economy international deals that they find. I recommend signing up for this free version first to see how things work and to see if you like it. Premium is their next level up, which gives you access to all of their best international and domestic economy deals, stupidly cheap mistake fares, and other perks. Then Elite is the top level, which gives you all of those same things, plus awesome deals on business class and first class flights. For example, with Elite, I recently found a flight for my brother to come visit me from Detroit to fly first class down to a small tiny Caribbean island called San Andres. The deal they found for first class was $740, and according to them, the normal price was $5,000. That said, after searching on my own, this seemed like a little bit of an overestimate. I was seeing that the normal price was around $3,500 when I checked. Either way, that's quite the savings, and after I clicked on the link that they had the deal on, it sent me over to Google Flights, and it actually found a different date that was as cheap as $544. Unfortunately, the deal ran out by the time I could get a hold of my brother, so when you use Going, you gotta be ready to act fast. It's cool to see the huge discounts on first class, but they also have some super cheap deals on economy, which in the end allows you to fly way more. If you end up just buying one single ticket that Going recommends per year or two, and you have the paid subscription, the savings will pay for that subscription many times over. And if you're not from the US, I still love you. I did some recon work and found some alternatives that seem to offer similar services. Firstly, I heard rumors that Going actually did have plans to go international, so it might be a good idea to sign up for the free plan so you can get notified if that does happen. But until then, we also have Jack's Flight Club in the UK, Fairdrop in Canada, and for the rest of the world, you can try out a site called Secret Flying. Now, Secret Flying hasn't saved me anything yet because I just signed up last week, but it looks promising and it's free, so why not? All you need to do is sign up for alerts similar to Going, and as soon as they find any deals, they'll send you a notification or an email. This includes many cities around the world outside of the US. They don't have as many deals as Going, but again, it's free, and so might as well try it to see if you can find what you need. Before we get into the last two tips, it's important to remember that booking cheap flights is just one piece of the budget travel puzzle. For other genius ways to slash your travel bill, grab my free travel hacks download down in the description. Next up is Hopper, and Hopper has saved us $2,000, including our cheap trip to Easter Island. And while it's a super powerful tool, there are also some important risks that you should know that we'll talk about. Hopper is cool because it uses past price history to predict if the price you're looking at right now is the best price and you should buy now, or if you should wait a bit because the price might drop in the future. When I used Hopper a couple years ago, it often told me to hold tight and wait for better deals. That said, when I recently tested it out for this video, I searched like 5 different dates, and every single time it told me that today was the best date to buy, and so I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if they're just trying to get me to buy today. It's worth testing out though, and it's also a convenient way to set up price alerts and track different prices. Okay, now for that warning. During the pandemic, Hopper had some issues, and many people have had some frustrating experiences trying to get refunded for canceled flights. Because of this, I would be very careful about actually booking your flight through the app. But that doesn't mean you can't use the app as a tool to find cheap flights, and then after you find the cheap flights, book them directly with the airline. It can be tempting to book through the app though, because they often offer extra discounts and vouchers that you can use for first purchases. They also have some really cool flight search features. For example, they let you search for mixed and match flights that combine different airlines together. And then they have what they call a missed connection guarantee that basically says that if you miss your connection or one of the airlines cancels and it messes up the whole rest of your trip because you mixed and matched, that you can buy any new ticket with any airline and they'll refund you for it. This sounds great in practice, and I'm sure they mean to keep their promises, but in light of all the bad experiences that happened during the pandemic, I would still be very careful when using these features. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on how to save money using Hopper, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be making that video shortly. Next, we have a combination of websites that have saved us over $10,000 in flights. That is Flight Connections plus Chase Ultimate Rewards Portal plus Award Hacker. You've probably heard about strategies to earn bucket loads of credit card points that you can use for free flights, but stick with me because these other sites are pretty handy for anyone to use as well. And if you haven't heard about getting free flights with credit card points and churning, make sure to check out this Travel Hacking 101 video next that shows how I flew from the US to Europe for just $5. So while several banks offer these types of points bonuses that I covered in the video where you can earn bucket loads of points all in one time for a sign-up bonus and then use it for flights, Chase Bank is known to be the best. That said, if you don't have Chase or you're living in a country that has different credit card programs, this process can still help you. So once you have all your points in your account from using the churning strategy, sometimes it's difficult to figure out which airlines to transfer your points to get the best value. That's where Award Hacker and Flight Connections comes in. Award Hacker gives you a starting point for ways that you could theoretically use your points and how much it would cost. Now, I say theoretically because sometimes it's hard to find flights with the actual point values that they list. Regardless, it at least shows you where to start looking. The second website I love is Flight Connections, and I just use the free version. It's a super handy database with tons of information, and you can quickly search which airlines fly out of which airports, which airlines have direct routes between airports, and tons more. Armed with this info, you'll know exactly which airline websites or which partner airline websites to start your search to find your award flights. If all of this sounds like mumbo jumbo to you, just go to the Flight Connections website and start playing around. It's pretty cool, the information that you can find. I've also saved tons of money on flights using a good old Google Flights because it's extremely powerful. I made an entire tutorial showing my exact step-by-step process for finding cheap flights on Google Flights, and you can check that out in this video next. Subscribe to Project Untethered on Instagram and TikTok for more quick and dirty travel hacks. Bye-bye.